Hey Taurus, welcome to your weekly forecast for February 27th through March 5th. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to connect here and see what's coming up here for the Taurus collective. Keep in mind it's a general reading. Not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, let's see what's going to come up here for the collective, the Taurus collective. Move you all just a little bit closer. And the first card coming up here for you all is the Eight of Cups. Now, this card comes up in a couple of different ways. Sometimes this card can come up when we're feeling a little lackluster in life. Something is missing and we're not sure quite what. Which brings me to the other way this card comes up. Sometimes this card comes up for me in readings for people who work really, really hard towards certain goals. And like you don't rest until you reach that goal. And you're happy for a little bit, but then you're like, you're like, something is still missing. So I must have focused on the wrong thing. And you know what? I'm going to be happier when I do this other thing instead. I had it wrong. I focused on this thing, but this other aspect of my life will make me happier. Or this other thing is going to give me a sense of purpose. So then we devote all our time and our energy to this other goal. We achieve it. We're happy for a little bit. And then again, same thing. I'm glad I did it, but something is still missing. Oh, you know what? This other thing. And then happiness constantly is contingent on like some future goal. Fulfillment is constantly hanging upon something we're working towards, and it's never in the here and now. I feel, Taurus, that the reason why the Eight of Cups is coming up for you, especially as your first card this week, is because some of you are preparing to like make a massive sacrifice towards something very time consuming. Like you're telling yourself, I'm not fulfilled and I'm not happy, but this other thing is going to make me fulfilled. And once I do this, then I'm going to feel really happy or I'm going to feel fulfilled. And your guides are like, wait, no, not because what you're doing is a bad thing. It will definitely have its benefits, but it's going to be that same situation as all the times before, where you're like, something is still missing. And the magnitude of what you're about to do, like, it is significant. Because you have it in your mind that because it's going to be so much work and because it's going to take so much time, like, this is it. This is going to be worthwhile, right? Nothing worth it ever came easy. But in this instance, it's not what, like, it's a good thing, but it's not what you think it's going to bring you, right? So some of you might be, planning on, like, coming up with a bunch of money to make this really big pilgrimage, like to travel to a specific place because you think you're going to have this really profound spiritual experience. Or you're making big, big sacrifices to, put a lot of money, a lot of time into like something you're trying to put together or create. But Spirit is saying this is not where the fulfillment is going to come from. So Eight of Cups comes up when we need to strengthen our connection to higher self. And we need to strengthen the spiritual connection. That's what's missing. That's why we can't ever feel fully proud or satisfied with our accomplishments. So even if you're somebody that has a regular spiritual practice, this is a good time to revisit your spiritual practice and look into what you can do to spice it up, to change it up a little bit, right? The same way that we will change things up to, kind of break monotony in the daily life or in our relationships. We gotta bring something new into the spiritual routine once in a while. So this could be through spending more time connecting with nature, spending more time really connecting with artistic endeavors or music, water. Maybe it's because I'm a water sign, but water is very spiritual to me. I can't tell you how magical just being near water or being in water is for me. So we can connect spiritually in a lot of different ways. Dance, music, movement, nature, spending time connecting with the different elements, anything that you can do to just kind of be in your zen and be in your bliss. Just try to practice that this week and see if you're beginning to feel more satisfied with what you've already accomplished before you go making a really massive commitment to something that's going to take a really long time. That is, for some of you, not even the answer to this lackluster feeling. The next card that's coming up for the Taurus collective is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this could be you and your lovely, wonderful um, earth sign energy. Okay. Knight of Pentacles, oftentimes, some of you have heard me say this is a card that comes in and says slow and steady wins the race, that your success in a situation is about consistency. It's not about hustling or grinding or rushing. It's just about being consistent. And there's definitely that energy here to this card. The Knight of Pentacles, though, I feel is like a lot of you are coming into a time where you're valuing stability, security, honesty, dependability over like things that maybe before got your adrenaline going. So I feel like some of you are losing your attraction to like risks, taking gambles, like you're not finding the same rush as you did before. Like maybe before you were someone where you loved to race against the clock in a situation, or you're like, I work best under pressure, right? Give me a deadline, and the closer I get to that deadline, the more productive I'm going to be, the more creative I'm going to be. And maybe some of you have ended up in really high pressured situations as a result because you've said to yourself, you know what, that's just how I work best. I feel that this Eight of Cups and this Knight of Pentacles is coming together to say that some of you Taurus, you're no longer getting that rush of adrenaline from those situations. Like you're wanting to take it easy, you're wanting to be in the moment. You're somebody that you're not finding thrills in rushing against the clock, or racing to beat a deadline, or like pushing to like meet certain sales goals, or I just feel like you're in, even like I feel like you're losing interest in like situations of like that are competitive. Maybe you really thrived under that pressure. Maybe you really thrived in competitive environments, but it was like a survival skill that you learned growing up in drama, growing up in chaos. And now you're like, I'm getting, I'm maturing. I'm getting to the point where um I just want to feel rooted and grounded, and this energy isn't enticing to me anymore. I know I can do it. I know I'm a badass. I know I can pull it off, but gosh, I don't want to have to, you know, work under such stressful conditions or situations. And so I feel like a lot of you are just looking for um just a more efficient or easier way of doing things, right? Like I can still be successful, I can still be productive, but I don't have to jump through hoops and do backflips and somersaults. Like I can just be successful in a calm way, like in a less dramatic way. I feel like some of you are losing your interest in those dramatic kind of environments or situations. The next card that's coming up here for the Taurus collective is the Eight of Wands. And so this could be also seeking that which you are passionate about, that which excites you. Eight of Wands is a passionate energy, and we can have passion without chaos. We can have passion without drama. We sure can. Eight of Wands is also a card of movement. Blockages are over. The blockages are out of the way. You can expect things to move forward. You can expect things to happen. It's also a card of travel. Now, intuitively, what I feel about this is that some of you are realizing that it is time for a change. And it might be time for a big change, a massive change. But with these three cards coming together, you're realizing this big change and this massive change isn't gonna require for you to go to extremes. It's not going to require for you to do something very time consuming or very expensive. You're going to make the slightest change in your life, and it's going to give you a massive shift and a massive, massive difference. It's not going to be something that you're going to have to, break your back here and exhaust yourself to do. Now, what is it? This is a general reading. It's going to be different for different ones of you. But for some of you, you're going to find that you're coming up with a career change that's going to be life-changing for you and give you a sense of doing something purposeful. Some of you could be starting a business. Some of you may be finding a way where you can move some things around and retire early. Some of you are making a very significant spiritual connection that's opening your eyes to life path and purpose. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's been right under my nose this whole time. So it is time for a big change. And you're going to have a massive change. But it's not going to take a long time to do it. And it's not going to be difficult to do it. We have this mindset where we think that in order for us to have something good, we have to go through a lot of suffering for it. And that's not the case. And so it's working within the flow, being in the flow. The next card that's coming up here for the Taurus collective is the Sun. Now, some of you could be dealing with a Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. That might be a significant person in this process. If you have Leo placements, you might be having big changes or big shifts in those houses or in those areas of your life. Now, this is a major arcana card, so the major arcana cards are always going to come up when we're in a significant shift. Like it's a defining moment, it's a new chapter. It's a significant time. And for the Sun card, this is a time in which we're coming into being seen, being celebrated, being loved for who we are, a happy and playful inner child. It is a card of freedom and success. And it's a card that comes up for me in my readings when we're breaking out of codependency and codependent cycles. And some of you have been pulled into this rush of adrenaline and this, performing well under pressure because it made you feel useful. Or it made you feel like you were earning your place in a situation. And now you're saying, I don't have to work so hard to earn my place. I don't have to beg. I don't have to fight. I don't have to compete. I don't have to duel. I don't have to, go to extremes. You see my worth or you don't. And if you don't see my worth, that's a you problem. It's not a me problem. I'm not going to tear myself apart trying to convince anybody of anything. And so I feel, Taurus, you're beginning to value stability, security, efficiency, and people who hear you the first time. Without you having to raise your voice, without you having to be dramatic. I just feel like people are looking at you like, you seem very chill. And so they might even be like, oh, am I boring you? Or, oh, you're too cool for school. Or like, that's like an old expression, but you get what I'm saying. Like, people are just looking at you like you think you're too good for the room, or you think you're too good to be involved, or you think you're too good to do what everybody else is doing. And it's not that you think you're too good. You just know that you don't have to, and that you shouldn't have to. And so I feel, Taurus, like a lot of you are deciding you're not playing some game anymore. This could be in a work situation. This could be in a love situation. This could be in a family dynamic. Maybe you're the person that's constantly putting out the fires and keeping everybody together. And maybe some of you have even been planning to do something so that you can continue this role. And all of a sudden you're having this epiphany where you're like, no, I shouldn't have to. Why am I like trying to make myself bionic? I don't have to be in these circumstances. I don't have to be in these situations. And so I feel like you're disconnecting from this energy and this um just this stress. You're like it's not necessary. And good for you. You might want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign. Sometimes those might resonate more than your sun sign. There's a list in the description to take you to the other videos that are on the channel. If you would like a private reading, this is the last couple of days of the sale I'm having on the private readings. I'll continue the sale prices through February 28th. And then after that, I'll go back to the original prices. But there's a link in the description to take you to my scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite. And you can schedule a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Bye, my dears. Take care.